Okay, so what's wrong with science? It's got the wrong perspective of the past, a blind chance perspective, which is absurd. Okay, and it's also taught as dogma. You can't question it. It's consensus. Don't go against the consensus. And my favorite one of that is Ignace Semmelweis. He figured out, hey, after doing an autopsy, wash your hands. Pretty radical thinking back then. It went against the consensus, and he was ridiculed and rejected. This is 1847. Wash your hands after doing an autopsy. And even when his hospital was having less deaths than the other ones, he had like less than 1%, and they were having like 14 and 15%, they still ridiculed and rejected him. So even if all the evidence points to the consensus being wrong, a lot of times they won't change. And this is what I want you to hear. You can listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. And this is a famous scientist. And listen to him. It's really sad, really.
This is world-renowned astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, a scientist explaining why you and everybody out there shouldn't ask questions. Watch.
There's a list of top-ranking medical professionals. Just take a look at
I'm talking about, excuse me, medical
Dr. Peter McCullough. No, I want to go through what happened
consensus.
Here. This is the problem with the consensus.
The consensus.
Okay,
medical professional.
I want you to...
because the medical is so huge, I can find you an astrophysicist who is sure we've been visited by aliens. That's not the
problem
consensus.
was the scientific method died here, and this is the point I want to make. It died a death here, and I need you to help me save it. Because Dr. Peter McCullough is the leading cardiologist.
I don't care if titles don't matter here.
But what should matter?
They don't matter.
What
matters
should matter?
Is the consensus. I'm not interested in medical pedigree. I'm interested in medical consensus, in scientific consensus.
Scientists that were on the ground, that were dealing with patients, were being censored, were being shut down. Their YouTube channels were being shut down. Their LinkedIn's were being shut down.
Because the individual scientist does not matter.
So let me get this straight. The scientist doesn't want you to follow the scientific method because it goes against the scientific consensus, even if the consensus was wrong. And it's not just the vaccines. The consensus did the same thing with COVID. Remember when Fauci and company said COVID came from a wet market? That lab leak theory went against the fake consensus. If you mentioned it, you got censored and smeared as a crazy person. Hey, kook, the coronavirus came from a bat. Definitely not the coronavirus lab around the corner.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that time, but there was a lot of stuff that was deemed misinformation that turned out to be right.